Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Board Game Heaven Talks Accessories. My name is Raymond, and in this video I'll be showing you a new range of painting accessories by Boar Studios and New Idea, which is coming to Kickstarter in February. Now they have all kinds of new accessories like these mills to have your painting pots and dropper bottles on, which is very space saving. They have a paint bottle shaker that you can connect with USB, doesn't have batteries, and a miniature grip to paint your miniatures, and I will show all of this in detail in a bit. And for backers that pledge on Kickstarter in the first 48 hours, they will also get a free miniature that you will see here, and I will show that in more detail as well. This is a 3D printed prototype. Of course, the final version will be a plastic cast version. All right, let's check them out. So here are a few of the items that New Idea and Boar Studios sent me to have a look at. And it is a modular kind of set to store your paints, your painting accessories, even your brushes. Now, I did not get the brush holder. That one wasn't finished yet. Most of this is also prototype, although these look pretty finished. This one looks like it's a prototype. It's not that neatly finished, and it's a little bit out of how do you call it, kind of out of balance. It's not entirely flat. So, but they told me, yeah, there were prototypes. They tested with these, and you can see some scratches. They probably tested this quite a lot. So they sent me this just to have a video. So be advised, the final product will, of course, be much better than this, I suppose. So how this works is you kind of put this together. You have these metal rods, you have short ones and you have long ones. And as you can see, if I put these here, they're probably like 2.5 times the length of these, more or less, which can come in handy if you want to have a tray for bigger pots like spray cans or what have you. But it's mostly to save space, of course. So you take the base, and this is the base here. If it will focus, you can see the New Idea icon there, the logo. So this is the base. On the bottom, you have some room to put this this screw. So you put that in the bottom. So you have some thread there, and then you can take one of these. Let me focus again. One of these rods, and these are from stainless steel, really nice material, so you can screw that in really easily like this, and just turn that a bit, and that is your base. So then you can take one of these, or I'll take one of these with the paints on it. So I'll take this, for example. So you can store, regular pots or these dropper bottles in here. It's a system that's let me just get that focused again. It's a system that works for all kinds of these. So these Citadel paint pots will fit in here nicely, and this is Reaper. I also have some Army Painter. I'm sure Vallejo will work as well because they're mostly all the same size, and this kind of just sits in here. You just press it in, and that is pretty tight. So this one I used for my pots, and I put them in with the cap on the outside so you can easily see the color. You can actually also put them in like this, but since this is the wider part of the pot, the base of the pot, this is a bit loose. So if you put them in like that, that is very tight. You can spin that and they won't drop out or anything. So that's an option that you can do. You can also, so let me just demonstrate this. These I found, these Army Painter pots are just slightly thinner than these. So if I spin this, and I'll spin it hard so you can see, some bottles might fall out. Most of them will stay in. Yeah, that's pretty good, but some of them don't. So what I like to do is, I tried this. I just take some transparent sticky tape and you just put some tape around the pot. As you can see here, I put some, just went around twice, and then I put that in, and then it's much more sturdy. So, you know, if you have some pots that are just slightly loose in this carousel and you're afraid that they will fall out, just put some sticky tape around it and they will stay in. And it's not like you're gonna spin these like crazy, of course. You're just gonna do this to find the paint that you need. So they'll probably stay in anyway, but you know, just to be sure, the ink bottle was a bit loose. So yeah, that's how that works, and you just put them on top, and then you can take another rod. And for paint pots, I just use a smaller rod because you don't need that much space. And then you can take another one of these. I'll just put this out of the way and just put these in real nice. And these are, the Reaper pots are very tight. Just really, they're not gonna fall out. And there you go. Take this again, just put that on top. And these circles here are fitted with ball bearings. So, you know, this is super smooth. Will turn forever. But yeah, you can just turn that and check which color you need. Just grab that, and that's that. So then, you know, I'll just put another one on top here. There. And I'll put this one on top to demonstrate, so you can put some other stuff on here. You can put pots in here as well if you want to. And there you go. And you have this little knob, this little handle to finish it off. And that way you can also pick it up here and just put it on your table. And that saves a lot of space. And this turns around well. See, if I turn around this one, it's a bit wobbly. But that's because this is not a final product. This has been handled quite a lot, judging from the scratches on it. So yeah, you have that. They also have a tray that has notches in it with some kind of foam that can grip your brushes. So you can keep your brushes in with the brush down, and then the bottom will have these holes in it with little glass jars. So you can fill those with your paint cleaner or water or whatever you use, and have your brushes stay in there, so you know you keep them better for a longer time, and you can just grab them out and start painting. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty awesome, very space saving, and I'll demonstrate by showing you a different paint rack. So this is the painting setup I've been using. And this is one of those wooden ones. This one is from Laserox, and it's a modular system as well. And it works pretty nice if you have a fixed setup. If you have a table where you can put this, that's fine. It's great. But it does take up a lot of space. And I actually don't have a fixed painting setup, so I have to take these trays and put them on my table every time I want to paint. And, you know, that takes a little time and a lot of space as well. So I need to store this somewhere. So it's on a shelf, taking up a lot of room. Especially, you know, if I'll measure this. So as you can see, 3 of these units, that's like 70 centimeters or almost 28 inches. So that's a pretty big chunk of space. And as you can see on the back, this is mostly empty. All of this is empty because in the corner you can't have drawers like the middle ones. And all of this is completely empty. So all this does for me is have these spaces of pots. And that's everything. And that takes up just as much space, you know, top down, as just putting them on a tray on the table. So, you know, it's not really very space efficient. I have some glue that I can't fit in here, so I just need to put that down. I have a little glue holder. You can put your brushes in here as well. I put them with the tips up just for storage. I need to clean them separately. And I do have some trays here, you know, with some painting supplies, a a little cloth, and one of these simpler holders. So I have all kinds of stuff, my brush cleaner here, but it's all in different spots. And so yeah, I need to remember where I put everything too, you know, like so clippers and these knives here. And then here I have some basing stuff, bases, and in here I have my quick shade and some milliput, some other stuff. So, you know, I put these on top, so that is kind of space saving, but this really isn't. So just to demonstrate, if I take these off, and this one as well, that's a lot of space. I could put racks on top of this if I wanted to, like this. See, still have space to turn them around, of course. And I could put some pots on there, and I can make this higher as well. If I have more of these smaller rods and more of these, you know, I could replace the top one with this, for example, and then I'd have 3 already. And I could put a second one here, and then even a third one here. This would probably fit, you know, if I move this maybe a bit so it doesn't touch. I could put 3 of these on top of this, where I could put 2 of these. And I can put like 3 or maybe 4 stories of this times 8 pots. Whereas if I do this, I have a lot less room, because there's either 6 or 5 in a row. So yeah. So in this case, that's 28 pots or 38 bottles in one of these. You know, this has 3 rows of 8 and 2 rows of 7. And, you know, depending on how many layers I stack, I can easily get that same result or better with these things. Plus, it'll be a little bit easier to carry around, because this is not very practical to pick up and put down. It is also a little bit, you know, it's wood, so it's a little bit wobbly. You have to be careful handling this. Pick it up with 2 hands and everything. And this is good for a painting setup that doesn't move, right? But if you, like me, have to move it around, it's just easier to pick this up, put it down, take what you need, and put it back, and go from there. So yeah, and I will probably combine it with drawers anyway, because, you know, there's nothing wrong with the drawers. So yeah, it's pretty practical in that way. So here's a demonstration of the tray with the long rod. So I put the long rod in the middle here. I just put this tray on top with the knob. And if I, you know, I could stack on with smaller ones if I wanted to. But this is good to have, you know, some of the bigger things. I have some washes here, some of this color stop stuff that I got once, some glue for the models, a miniature holder, and all that stuff that you can put underneath here, so you can have that handy as well. So that's pretty good. Again, this tray is a little bit off balance, but the final product will, of course, be balanced. And you can also get one of their own miniature holders, which I will look at a bit more in detail in a bit. But that will also fit on here with the longer rod. And they even got you a little, there's a magnet inside here in the bottom. This is a metal plate, so this will stick on here. This has a sticker, so you can actually stick that on top of this, because now it will, you know, if I turn this around, it will fall out. Well, maybe not instantly, but it's a bit wobbly, you know. So if I want this to be secured in place, I could stick this on the bottom here, this metal little chip here, just stick that on. This blue stuff is actually also a little bit of foil that you can pull off. There you go. So there's a little metal plate, and you can just stick that on here, and then that will hold, you see, that's magnetic, your holder quite nicely. So you can have that at the ready as well. So let's take a look at that. So this is one of the handles that you can get from the Kickstarter, again with the new idea logo on it. It's a light plastic handle, feels really nice in hand, very comfortable, and it has a magnet on the bottom, like I said, so you can put it on a metal surface and that will stick. And it also has a magnetic top, so that means here you can see there's just a metal ring in here, and this top will automatically click onto this by magnets. So that's pretty handy. So that means if I hold this, I'm left-handed, so I'm going to be painting with my left hand, and I'm holding this in my right hand, I can just squeeze this, just grip it between my fingers and use my thumb to turn this around. This has a little ribbed edge here, so I can easily turn that around, and I can put some pressure on this because it's not coming off. I really have to push it up, and then even then I have to put some force to actually flip it off. So you can just go around and turn this. You also get some of this Faber-Castell putty with it, so conveniently made into smaller pieces there, so you can just peel off a little bit there and just take that off and just pluck a little bit off there. Yeah, there we go. And then you can just stick that on top of that like so. May have to make it a little bit thicker because there's a little bit of an edge there. And then take one of your primed miniatures and just stick that on. There you go. I have a little Hero Quest elf here. I primed. I started on the eyes because that's the toughest. I always start with the eyes. And then you can just hold this and turn it around. So you can paint and turn it around with paint there, paint, and yeah, that just really works. It's a lot easier than the other ones where you have to turn the entire thing in your hand. This just makes it very comfortable to rest your arms on the table, and with just a movement of your thumb, you can just move this around. You can rest your other hand against it as well, and then just do the painting like that. Yeah, I'd be painting like this. Put on some base coat, turn it around, do the legs, etc. And yeah, I think that works really. This is one of the better, maybe even the best handles I've had, and it's a much easier and cheaper than those expensive ones. So this is a really good alternative in my opinion. Plus, you can get additional of these caps, so you can leave your miniature on with the putty and have multiple miniatures. If I had more of those, I could just stick multiple miniatures on and then boop, pop them on. If you're army painting, if you've got like 10 units of the same character, you could do, for example, 5 or even 10 if you get multiple of those, and just stick them on, bloop, like that, do one color, take it off, put the next one on, do the same color, and just work your way through your armies like that. And that is so time saving. I really like that, because up to now I had to open up the thing, put the mini in, clamp that shut, and then it takes time. And this is very convenient. And they have bigger ones too for models that have bigger bases, so you can mix that up if you need that, and that is just very convenient. So I'm really much a fan of this paint grip. And one last thing I wanted to show you that they also sent me is this paint shaker. So they have this little box, again with the new idea logo on it, and a simple button, a USB port there, and some sticky tape on the bottom. If you want to peel this off, you can stick it to a surface. I probably won't do that. I'm probably gonna just put it on my table whenever I use it. And yeah, you can put your pots in there. So if you have dropper bottles like these, there's some Velcro here. You can just put that underneath and just pull that. Like, I think actually you might need to put it through here. I'm not entirely sure, because there's sticky tape on the top there as well. So I'll just pull it and put that in until it's nice and tight. There's even Velcro on the bottom, so you can just wrap that all the way around, so that it's very tight. Same on this side, just undo that. There's some rubber here for extra grip, so you don't lose the pot in the process. That would be not good. And then just pull that and just wrap that in there so that doesn't go anywhere. And then all you need to do, it comes with a USB cable, with a USB port. So all you need to do is stick that in. See, this way around, like that. There you go. And then you can either put this in your computer or laptop or whatever that can function as a power source, or you can add one of those plugs where you can put this into your wall socket, and that will work as well. And this will shake quite vigorously, so it will shake your paints and mix them up nicely. I've even got some agitator balls that I bought separately. If your bottles don't have that, or your pots, you can just pop them open, put a ball in there, and that will work really well with this, because it'll shake it about and you'll have perfectly mixed paint. So I've went and found a longer cord, a long power cord, and one of these plugs. This is just one that I got with a mobile phone, and I'll just plug that in. That has a USB port, and I'll just stick that in here. And then I put the bots in there, a dropper bottle and a pot, but you have to hold it down. That's probably why they added the sticky tape, so you can secure it to a surface, but if you just hold it down with a bit of force, that'll work as well. It's a little bit noisy, but we'll just see how that works. There you go. And if you hold it down, it'll shake a bit better. There you go. And I've put some of these agitator balls in it. These are just 8mm in diameter glass beads. And you just put one in there and it'll shake that up nicely. But it'll shake them up nicely even without those. I just like to have them. So that's the paint shaker. So here is the miniature of the combiner, if you will, that you can get with this Kickstarter, and you can get it for free if you back in the first 2 days, 48 hours. And I've put a couple of other miniatures from Core Clash, also by Boar Studio, next to it for size comparison, so you can see the scale of this thing, because it's pretty big. It's really nice. It is about 11 centimeters tall to the shoulder, almost 4 inches. So this is a pretty big miniature, and it scales very well with these other minis from Boar Studios Core Clash. And from what I hear, there is talk of adding an optional add-on to get the cards. They will design some cards for the use of this miniature and the individual miniatures that will be daily unlocks during the Kickstarter, to use them in Core Clash if you have that game. So if you are a backer of Core Clash, that would be pretty cool to add this one as a boss perhaps, and the 5 individual robots as their own mechs with their own cards. You can have a special team or maybe mix them up. So that is pretty cool as well. And I'll just turn it around a bit. I've put some putty on it, some putty, to keep it together. I haven't glued it yet because I mean to paint this, and that means I want to base coat and paint all the individual parts before I put it together. So I used putty. You can see it there and there. I put some putty to support the leg, because everything is supported by this leg. So that means that this hip joint is basically carrying the whole figure, because this leg is floating in the air, and I kind of wish they put some kind of support for that leg. Would make it a little bit more sturdy, I think. But yeah, as you can see, this is a really cool looking miniature. I love the base. That's a really cool base there. And you can clearly see that they're all planes and helicopters. You can see this fighter jet there. That's the right arm. and the body is like a stealth bomber. All the wings are folded up as a backpack. And then there's the left arm is a carry-all helicopter, one of those big ones. The left leg is a plane with these big turbines. Reminds me of Power Glide from Transformers. And the right leg is again a helicopter, like a battle helicopter, which reminds me of one of the Combaticons that form Bruticus. Because yeah, he does kind of remind me of both Bruticus and the aerial bots as well. It's kind of like a mashup, inspired by, if you will. So that is pretty awesome. So that is this miniature, again, which you will get for free as if you back in the first 48 hours. And you will also see the individual robots in both their alt mode and mech mode as daily unlocks. So there you go, a quick overview of some of the products that Boar Studio and New Idea are bringing to Kickstarter. Very convenient, if you ask me. I like the product. I think the quality is good. I especially like the paint shaker and this grip. That is awesome. And I do like the convenience of having everything, you know, easily nearby at a hand's reach. And portable as well, so I can just put it on the table wherever I want and get going. And again, if you want to support this Kickstarter and want to get some of these nice products, just click the I in the far right corner there, or the link in the description below, and that'll take you to the Kickstarter. And if you're still on the fence whether you want to back this or not, I would suggest just getting a pledge in the first 48 hours, so that at least if you decide to keep your pledge, you will have this awesome free miniature as an early backer. And you can always change or even cancel your pledge later should you want to, or change your mind. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a pretty cool product and will certainly come in hand when I paint my miniatures. So that was my quick review of all of these painting accessories by Boar Studio and New Idea. If you want to check out the Kickstarter, click the link in the description below or the I in the corner of this video. That'll take you to the Kickstarter page. And if you pledge during the first 48 hours, you will also get a free miniature shown here. So that's pretty cool as well. And you can use all these things to start painting. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And please also check out my Patreon page if you'd like to support what I do. You can do so for as little as just €1 per month or more, and that is greatly appreciated. Really helps the channel. And I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.